Welcome to Beyond the Surface. This is a program where we go beyond the surface of matters and issues relevant to Ghana and beyond. On today's program, we will be speaking with the presidential candidate of the United Republican Party, Dr. Vishnu Bandh. Dr. Bandh, good day and welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so I would like to start by establishing the values of the United Republican Party. Where do you stand, and walk us through the journey of coming into existence of the party?
Well, the party was formed since 1985 in New York when we had a serious problem here in the Burnham dictatorship. Then we launched here in 1987. 2 years we spent trying to establish ourselves amongst Guyanese in New York and Canada. In the same time, we have been lobbying for Jimmy Carter to come to Guyana for the first time in 1992. So we launched here in 1987, and then we joined up with what they call the PCD, Patriotic Coalition for Democracy. 4 political parties has come together then. It was the PPP, the United Republican Party, DLM, and WPA, who came together to fight a common cause, to fight the dictatorship, to establish democracy in Guyana. We all contest our party individually at the general election, but we supported the PPP.
So it's like you're fighting one common cause.
Yes.
But you're doing it separately.
Separately.
There's one goal.
With one goal, right?
And that goal was basically to get the then PNC out
of power, because things was not going too well in Guyana at that point.
Like what, so?
Well, there's a heavy type of democracy, dictatorship had been going on, and nobody couldn't speak freely. And how I get involved in the party, I should tell you that.
But I want to pick up on something just before you move forward there. You were saying no one could have spoken freely, but yet we had Dr. Jagan. He was able to do so because that voice was always there. Dr. Jagan's voice was always there.
Well, Dr. Jagan's voice was always there because Dr. Jagan and Mr. Ford Burnham, they were colleagues. They were good friends. In the public eye, there was enemies, but they were good friends. Okay. That's how we see it.
Okay. All right.
And but because of the call in the Guyanese people abroad, that's how I get involved in putting the United Republican Party together. I'm the first publisher for a Caribbean newspaper in New York called Caribbean Awake. And because people have known that I publish these papers and so on, they have been calling upon me, telling me, the family came here on a holiday, they were robbed, they were killed, and so things happening. And it gets me disturbed, and I decide to ask a few Guyanese who have those kind of interests in Guyana for us to put the United Republican Party together. But mind you, we did not come here to fight for presidency when we came here in 1992. We came here to see democracy prevail. And under that common cause, we supported the PPP, right? With the promise from Dr. Chedi Jagan. I used to sit with him every week, try to formulate strategy to fund.
Why did you not support the PPP in terms of joining the party and working from out of the PPP?
Today?
No, back then with Dr. Jagan.
By then?
Instead of forming your party separately and you're fighting for what cause, why did you not? And you're meeting with Dr. Jagan, you're interacting with him. We're not going to camp.
We are a free enterprise political party. They have called themselves a communist political party. Until now, they're calling themselves a communist political party, following the communist trend. In fact, their manifesto is based on communists, right? But we are a free enterprise political party. It's totally different. And when the United Republican Party formed, we formed with an understanding that the United Republican Party would not collate with any political party in Guyana.
And you hold on to
And we hold on to that until now, right? In fact, on this election, present election, Bharat had called me, spoke to me to talk to me about working along with them. The Change Guyana had called me. The Speaker of the House, the Ralph Ramkaran had called me, to talk. But I tell them clearly that this is a policy of the United Republic, not to collate with no political party. If we even get one seat, 2 seats, we will truly represent the Guyanese people. And that's how we see it. Because today, everybody hustle for power. They want to be president, they want to be prime minister. I had never wanted to be the leader of the United Republican Party. In fact, I must tell you this. In 2015, when we assist the PPP to come into power in 1992, we asked Chedi 2 things. And that 2 things was that we want to see the Constitution revived, change the Constitution, because no president should be like a god in our country. The president should be answerable to the people in the country. He promised, yes, we'll do that, comrade, we'll do it. And secondly, we asked to reinforce the law and order. The law is there, but it's not been implemented. And he said, yes, he will do all of that. And next thing he said on his 92 campaign, he said, winner would not take all. That he will share his platform with all the political parties. But you know what? When he finished, he still take all. Because he formed what you call the PPPC, and he called that the other part of the PPP. But what he have said that he would share his platform with all the political party, nobody from the PPPC was in the other political party.
This is a norm that politicians, once they're elected to office, they would go back on their word.
Well, there is only 2 political parties really we had in Guyana. Serious political party was the PPP and the PNC. And since from the inception, they have been doing that. They never kept their word.
I want to change the conversation a bit. In your bid to become president of Guyana has been marred with a trial of challenges and that surrounded your dual citizenship. How has that affected your campaign and your chase for the presidency of Guyana?
Well, it affects us a lot. There's a simple reason because that they have been throwing this thing outside there, and it had come from the commissioner of the GCOM. Because I had several meetings with the commissioner. Now, when on nomination day, I wrote them a letter stating that I am relinquishing my U.S. citizenship. It's in the process. I had a meeting with them, with the whole board of commissioner, the chairperson, and the commissioner. Right?
Those from the PPP and those from the...
Yeah, 3 commissioners from the PPP, 3 from the PNC, and explain my situation in the past, what had happened, and our experience. Because no other political party, young political party, has our experience. Because we were there in 2 elections. Right? And we had explained what we have noticed and what's happening at the polling station. And they all accepted. After nomination day, I had the next meeting with the chairperson and the Lowenfield and one of their advisors. And the question I have asked them at that point, I said, at what point do you have to surrender your U.S. citizenship or your dual citizenship, whatever you want to call it? They said there's no time. Subsequently,
they said there's no time?
There's no time limit for that, right? That meeting held, I think it's around the 14th, 15th, somewhere around there, of January. 21st, they had their statutory meeting. And the next thing you hear, they said they come up with the law. They make up a law now, not the Constitution. They might make up their own law and saying that before, on nomination day or before nomination day, you're supposed to give up your U.S. citizenship. Right? Mind you, the question, the thing that they hold, I signed a presidential candidate. A president do not sit in National Assembly, right? But the number 5 question on that list, on the list, it said, if you are qualified to be a national, to sit in the National Assembly, right? And I signed it, so it means yes, right? But remember, when on nomination day, there was no National Assembly.
But then it speaks to what is to come.
It was to come, yes. So they make a big scene out of it, right? Because on national,
But then, if we look at this thing as it is, if you're qualified, and if you look at the Constitution, it says too that, I understand what you're saying. You're saying the president, and that is widely understood, the president doesn't sit in the National Assembly.
Right.
That is understood. But yet the Constitution clearly states that you can't pledge allegiance to another foreign state, another state.
Yes.
And on that declaration form, it speaks about being qualified. So there's a link between the two.
Yeah, but I was qualified. I am qualified. I didn't lie because I stayed.
But how you could have been qualified and you still not, did you get back the that certificate?
Yes, but the law said you go into the National Assembly. There was no National Assembly then, and there are a National Assembly to come after the general election. And that was a clear understanding. Right? It didn't state that in the Constitution. That's why I asked at what point you have to surrender it. I'm qualified to be because I'm the oldest one in this country take my certificate, lost citizenship certificate, and advertise them throughout the world.
I remember you doing that.
Nobody did it. None. Up to today, all the rest cannot take their certificate and show you that this is my last certificate. And I have my own received on the 16th of January.
But I saw Mr. Schuman from the Liberty and Justice Party. I saw his though at a press conference. He'd made his public. But the fact is, you've now GCOM made a decision.
Yes, I'm qualified.
You're not qualified.
But the news that they have been giving me before, all was false news, because I was never removed from the list of candidates. And the PPP and the PNC board members go out there and give false statement. And the news carry it. But I was never, ever removed as a candidate from the list.
All right. All of the small political parties, the newcomers, so to speak, they would have been referring to themselves as the third force. The URP is also referring to itself, your party, as a real third force. What separates you from them? Or as a matter of fact, is there any separation at all?
That's a good question. Now, as I said earlier, URP runs alone. URP are not with them. Now, how can you call yourself a third force? You formed a couple months ago, right? You don't even have no track record of doing anything in Guyana. The URP has a track record from 92 to now. On 92 election, 2015 election, this election, what do these people who call themselves the third force have to prove that they are a third force? And mind you, we are the only political party besides the APNU and the PPP. We are the only one that contest all 10 regions in this country, right? So how would they call themselves third force? So if they call themselves third force, you can call yourself what you want. But URP are saying we are the true third force then. It's just like they said, a change in government. We are saying an exchange. We are having all the time in government. The URP has said we want a real change. A real change, it means besides the two other major political parties.
But I want to ask you, what are your chances? You're contesting in all these regions. What are your chances this time around? Because you certainly want to have a seat in parliament, I think, because to have your voice, all right. So how confident are you, or what are the prospects like that, listen, this time around, the URP will pick up a seat?
Because this time around, we are very serious. The other time around, we were not so serious in going to government. We had wanted to see Guyana the people in Guyana being treated fairly. That was all the thing. In fact, I must tell you this. In the 2015 general election, 5 months before the election, I raised the URP back. You know, the first person, I didn't want to be the leader of the URP. The first person I went and asked to lead this party was the previous Speaker of the House, Mr. Ralph Ramkaran, right? And he told me, Vishnu, man, I don't want to get involved in politics. Suddenly I heard Ramkaran start a new political party, you know? I don't know what sparked him to start a new political party, right? Suddenly you heard he started, right? And then some of our followers tell me, look, we want you to be the leader of this party because we know you. We know what you are and who you are, right? In the past, we had a leader in the URP which swing different way, right? And that is how I remain the leader of the United Republican Party. I must tell you this, I didn't want to contest even this election. Because see how the people operates in Guyana and see how the GCOM runs. The GCOM is not fair.
Well, I want to ask you, what is so serious about this election?
What is so serious?
For the URP? Because you did mention that this is...
Okay, what is serious about this election?
You're serious now.
Because the URP feel that no one political party, even the URP, should dominate the parliament. Right?
No one political party should dominate the
No
parliament.
no one political party should dominate the parliament. Right? We should got other political parties, other people that when a motion is tabled, it have proper debate.
But we look at the APN, it's APNU plus AFC, and then the APNU, they've got a coalition of smaller parties in there.
That's only a name. The smaller political party have no power. They have nothing. Even AFC, power has cut. They don't have too much of power. It's one political party actually dominated the government in the PNC. Right? This is how we see it. Nobody has no kind of power. It's just name. And let me tell you something. If we go back in history, coalition never works in Guyana. In the Barnum era, the Barnum days, he collated with the United Force. 2 years after, he kicked them out. Now we collate, you know, in PPP time in 92, he said he will share his platform with other political party. Never happened, right? In 2015 election, so many promises had been made. They come with a coalition by name because some of these party was a one-man party and so forth that collate.
Like which one?
Well, you know them. I don't want to call name. You know all of them.
But you were making the allegation.
No. I'm saying.
You're saying.
Right.
Substantially.
All right. I'm saying. You will know it. You know, I don't have to repeat that.
On that note,
right?
We want to take a short break,
yeah.
and when we come back, we'll discuss your manifesto, your plans, and your prime ministerial candidate, and so forth. Stick around. We'll be back in just a moment. Back with us on Beyond the Surface, and we are chatting with the presidential candidate of the United Republican Party, Dr. Vishnu Bandh. Dr. Bandhu, I want to turn to the manifesto of the party. The European manifesto has placed agriculture as a main pillar in relations to the country's development. What is you and your party, what are your plans to develop this sector? Because in fact, you've got your logo there as the cow, the head of a cow, you've got there as your party symbol. So that in itself speaks to the fact that, agriculture is big for you.
Well, agriculture is the thing that brought us to this point in Guyana. Nothing but agriculture. And if we have known how to manage agriculture in Guyana, we'd be far, far ahead. But instead of thinking about agriculture, most of our people think about how they can put some in their pocket, the money in Guyana. So we don't have time for agriculture and all these things. Agriculture had failed in the last administration. Agriculture is still failing in this administration. And it's surprisingly that this administration are saying now what they will do for agriculture. You mean you are in the seat for 5 years and now you're saying what you will do for agriculture? What baloney you're telling the people? And if we did not talk about agriculture on our manifesto, you would not even hear they talk about it, because many things that we talk about in our manifesto, we are hearing other political parties are talking it on the platform today, right? But you know what? The person who spoke about first, those are the owner for those statements, right? And we have been seeing other political parties are saying the thing that we are having on the manifesto. But we have proof. Since 2015, we've been talking about these things. 2018, in our newspaper, we published about it. For instance, we talk about Mackenzie. We talk about reopening the aluminum plant. We are the first person to talk about refinery to be put down in this country and highlight Linden as the place to put it. We talk about clay brick factories. We talk about the bridge to cross over from Mackenzie to Wisma.
These sound like things that were tried in the past.
They were
For example, the clay brick factory.
Yeah.
So we had something like that in the past, didn't we?
Well, I don't know we had any in the past. I never know that we had clay brick factory in the past.
But did we not produce clay brick here in Guyana?
Yes, not in Mackenzie. It happened in Wales, in Canal.
Good. So,
Canal 2.
So the point is,
Yes.
we tried it. We tried that.
Yeah, we try a lot of things. But bad management make everything collapse.
So you're saying reinventing these with good management,
Yes.
they can work?
Yes. How sugar works all over the world, and we can't get sugar to work here. Right? Why is sugar not working? Like, for instance, I was 2 years ago in Kanji. And one of the person tell me, he said, look, if something break in this mill here, and they sell it in New Amsterdam costing $8,000, they shop around and they heard it selling in Georgetown for $5,000. They will send a man with a vehicle. They got to pay his lunch, pay the fuel, pay the cost of crossing and everything. And he will come in Georgetown and buy that thing for $5,000. And you put 25 men out of job for the day. And when he go back, he go with a bill for $20,000 to $25,000 expense. How would it pay? So these are the kind of things. Now we have been talking, like, I just came from Hgptv, had a call-in program. It was a very beautiful program. And I'm talking about rice, because rice is one of our main industry.
Correct.
Right? I'm not talking about the price of rice right now, but I'm talking about increase the yield of the rice. And how do you increase the yield of the rice? By placing in all rice area a laboratory that can test the soil.
But can we talk about increasing the yield without not talking about pricing?
No, we are not talking about pricing.
But can we have that conversation?
Yes, of course.
But can we have two separate? Because you're producing more now.
Yeah.
I'm producing more rice, but the price I'm getting for what I'm producing now It's not favorable.
No, but if the yield also raise, right, you will get much more, although the price is not that high.
Okay.
Because you will develop. Let us assume that we can able to provide and show you a way. You're getting, let us say, 30 bags per acre.
Correct.
Right? But because our testing of the laboratory test on the soil tell you the right kind of fertilizer to put in, and
So for the same acre now, you follow what you're
Yeah,
saying. For
yeah.
the same acre, you get more.
yeah, you get
more.
a 10 to 15 bags more per acre. So right away you increase your price, although the price doesn't raise. You increase your acreage, your value. So if you get $90,000 and you get 10 bags more, you end up getting 120,000 more. So you see what I'm trying to show you here, and this is how we intend to go about within the agricultural field. And besides that, we are talking about setting up an international marketing system. Our problem in Guyana, one of the hugest problem we have is marketing in Guyana.
I've got to agree with you on that note, but I just want to move to another area there. Can you explain to our viewers what is hemp and how this will contribute to our GDP hemp?
Well, hemp is a very large industry all over the world, right? We have been supporting hemp from day one, since they come here, because we have done also our research, and we have noted that hemp make about 25 different products. Anything actually what you think of can make by hemp, if you get the right things, to do it. Now, Canada produce a large amount of hemp. United States produce that. England produce it. Holland produce it. And many other countries. What happened with us in producing it? Where they calculate at 1 acre of hemp here will maybe give you $5 to $6 million per acre in production. Now, if we can able to implement that and regulate it properly, every person in this country will become up here, right? The suffering that you're going through today will not be, even on that one crop. And we have many other crops we're talking about. Like soya, we are talking about aloe vera, and there's so many things we are talking about that has money that we did research on them.
But if we see all of these products in the agriculture field, and or I should say, that has the potential to bring economic benefits to the country, this has been established, then why aren't we embracing it?
Because we don't have the kind of personnel who understand it to embrace it. How would you embrace something if you don't understand it? You can't embrace it. Huh? Look at our oil, what they did with our oil. They don't understand anything. They give away everything. They're giving away everything. You don't know who get drawback or who get under the table pay or whatever. But you're seeing it clearly. All countries in the world that got ExxonMobil take 40% for the country and 60% for Exxon, but we here take 2%.
That's right. All right, I want to move to another area now because time is moving really fast away from us here. I want to talk about the cash grant. So you've got one political party saying, talking a lot about it, and then you've got another talking about it in another sphere, in another circle. What is the URP's position on a possible cash grant scheme?
We are not talking about cash grant. We have something in our manifesto. If you go on the URP website, URP Guyana, you'll read it, and it says clearly, we have a program called the Stimulus Program, right? It has been used also by Obama in the United States. What is the stimulus program? The stimulus program is if you are working below $100,000 a month, the stimulus program will kick in to make you meet that mark of 100,000. But we are not giving you cash. We are telling you, look, you know what? We will give you, if you want food to make up that, we'll give you a chit, you'll go to the shop and you'll buy your food. If you want babies pampers, we'll do the same thing. If you want your children's school fee to be paid, that comes out of that. You know, all these things. And also, we are also telling you that we will not give you a chit to buy foreign product. We are giving you things to buy from your local manufacturing product so that it increase the small business growth in Guyana. Right? So the stimulus program will explain all of that to you, that how we'll go about. Now you might want to ask where you guys will get that money from. Right? Very good question. Instead of you asking me, I'm asking you.
Go ahead.
Right? We will get that money from the same agriculture, what we are planning. We can get some from the oil, and all that will go toward the stimulus program to able to meet with that kind of budget.
But do you agree that it is one thing to speak on issues when you're from the outside, and when you get in there, it could be a little different?
Oh yes, I am sure, because every person knows where the shoe pinches them.
Correct.
You have to wear it, right?
Correct.
But good. But you must be able to have a plan what you will do. Now, if you plan to go to the sky, you may not reach to the sky, but you might reach halfway, right?
So then, the electorate has to understand that even though that this is what I'm presenting, this is my plan, if I don't achieve the full quota outlined in the plan, I made an attempt.
Yeah.
At least I made a start.
Well, we are not telling you that we'll do it. For instance, we talk about gas, to bring down gas price up to 75%. We didn't tell you we will get it done. We said we'll work towards that, right? To get it down to 75%, because the oil come from our land. And if we can bring down gas price, it means we bring down everything in Guyana of people's cost of living.
I'm trusting that we get you back on the program so we can continue
Yes.
to talk before the elections, hopefully, so we can continue to talk about
I will love that.
some of the other plans that
Yes.
you've got outlined in your manifesto.
Yes.
For the populists out there. We're talking Guyana by extension. On today's program, we were speaking with the presidential candidate of the United Republican Party, Dr. Vishnu Bandh. You can also head to their website and read up more on their plans and so forth for Guyana. Once again, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, sir.
It was a pleasure. Well, that concludes our program for now. Goodbye.